Oh, sorry, I wasn't even on the stage there. Dearie me, I'm blathering away to myself. Yes, good morning. How is everybody doing? So, what I wanted to come on and talk to you about was the biotherapies, what we're seeing here at the hub, how people are getting on with all the protocols. I apologise for that start there, but anyway, let's look at what we're seeing here. Now, obviously, most people by now will know that Helen Matthews has helped me go viral on TikTok because she came to see us and she has made quite significant improvements to her health. And I put her on the Genius Insight and I basically told her what to do. Said, let's try this. And she did it. And I have to make that very clear to people that Helen did something that not everybody does. She followed direction. And that can be the trickiest part. What I do with my clients is I give them an email with all the things that I recommend because it's a very holistic overview. As I'm sure you'll understand, see how we can actually, what can we do for ourselves to maintain the garden. That's how we talk about it. Because what happens, obviously, when we get unwell, it's not something that's happened overnight. It's something that's happened usually over a relatively long term. And we don't get sick overnight. We don't get better usually overnight. But so it's a process of, sorry, just let me share this and then that's it. It's a process of small habits that help us to redress the balance. And really what can happen is, always say to people, there's two diets. There's the kind of healing diet where you maybe have to, depending on what's wrong with you, you really have to nail down and get things changed, get the terrain, get the parasites out, get the fungus under control, and get any viral load, get the immune system boosted, and then you can go into more of a maintenance diet. Because people, obviously, changing your diet is the most challenging part that I see for people. And obviously what we've got here to add in now is the biotherapies. And, you know, we had a day yesterday for people that have been struggling with their health really since 2020 that have been given the label long COVID or vax injured. And it was just an open day to show them the breath work, the letting go, the focusing on the future that you want rather than the future that you don't want, the beliefs, the limiting beliefs. It's only we're only here for 3 hours, so there's only so much you can do. And what I'm excited about is that at least now we have a place to bring people to meet, to create communities of people that are on this different journey, which is coming off all the drugs that you've been given. And so many people are doing that now, understanding it's not making them better. And I'm not saying that's everyone, but most of the people that are coming here realising that a lot of the prescriptions were making them feel worse and they weren't getting them cured because they're really only about symptom management. So when you start to understand your microbiome, your heavy metals, your fungus, candida is a huge issue for a lot of people. And just an overload of toxicity and a deficiency of nutrition, which if you I bring Bodhi in here for you to see, even if you're eating good food, if this isn't working properly, if this is too hot in here, because a simple change in temperature, as I'm sure you're aware, can change what can thrive and survive in here. So inflammation, which is usually caused by low-grade infections, fungus, all the usual stuff. If you just think about it like your pond in the garden, it's too warm in the summer, there's water exchange. If there's no new water coming in and the old going out, it becomes stagnant. And if the fascia is sticky and stuck, and if the lymphatic system is if you're not breathing properly down here into the diaphragm, not moving the diaphragm, not moving the lymph, then the whole thing becomes stagnant and stuck. And this becomes like a cesspit. And then you start to get all the symptoms. You get the brain fog, you get the bloating, which can be very uncomfortable, even painful. You get fatigue, all varying degrees of fatigue. You can have headaches, you can have muscle pains, your body can feel like super heavy, and you don't understand. All the tests can be coming back clear, which is that kind of idea, well, there's nothing wrong with you, when we just know the tests are completely inadequate. And in general, from the microbiome, the tests can be, trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. I've had all the tests, nutrition genome, I've had my hair analysis, I've had all the things that you do to try and see what's inside. So I am talking from personal experience and professional experience with what I'm seeing right now. It's a minefield. And really, what I love about the biotherapies is clearly there are some protocols that help. And that's, I'm using a similar protocol to Helen right now, which I'm loving, really easy to take. I'll talk about it once I'm finished. It's too early in the day to talk about it. But the one that Helen's using is Touchstone, the detox. It's just liquid, you spray it in your mouth and you take a few drops. Really, really easy to take, and it's kind of about 6 in 1. And it seems to be working really well for people. So you can get that information for free. You can just Google it yourself and try it if you want to. Really helps for the gut health. You know, there's different ways to address the gut health, and some people are much more let the body adjust. Personally, if you've got really extreme fatigue, I think these protocols can massively help. I'm not going to talk about all the things I've used over the years because you just got all the trolls coming on. But go into our community, join our community for a £5 a month, and you'll hear all about it. All the different ways you can get rid of things that are living in and on you, and get the low-grade infection sorted, get the fungus balanced out. It's all about balance. You know, these things living inside, in and on us. And unfortunately, the anti-everything, antibiotic, anti-this, anti-the next thing has destroyed the microbiome, the digestive tract. There's things in there, metals and lead and coppers and mercury, and God knows what all in there that was never meant to be in there. The funguses can be out of control. You've got loads of things that are attributing to that. So the birth control pill. A lot of things people are taking now are not going through the digestive system. They go in a spray, they go in a patch, they go in a cream, which is obviously a lot better. You're just actually directing it at the issue. But back in the day, everything went in here, and that just creates havoc. Consistent and repetitive antibiotic use absolutely trashes the microbiome. And then obviously you've got things like SIBO, IBS, Crohn's, which is, you know, they're just ulcerative colitis. All these things are rampant right now because our digestive systems are absolutely, they just can't cope with all the non-normal things that are going on. And then you add in the kind of depleted food chain. It's a minefield. It's a miracle we're all still alive, let me tell you. So anyway, let's talk about how the biotherapies work, which is completely different from that. Because if we look and accept that about a third of our energy is coming in from our food, right? And 80% of our daily energy goes to digest the food. So you imagine there's no energy in here. It's the wrong temperature, it's infested, it's stagnant, things haven't, you've been worried, you've been stressed, you've been affected. The vagus nerve's been tormenting the internal organs. The fascia's sticky and stiff. The lymphatic system stagnant. Even if you're putting good food in, how can you digest it? There's not enough energy to digest the food. So we're seeing people really vitamin deficient, mineral deficient because of this. And loads of supplements, etc., they can actually feed the problem rather than help it. And that's why it's really helpful to get guidance. But, you know, I can give you great guidance in an hour, and then you go home and you're just like, oh, right, now I need to do it, because this is the big change, the big difference with more holistic healing is that you're part of it. You have to take part in your own healing. You live in there. You think it, you feel it, you breathe it, you perceive it, you believe it. All of that information from here, it's all going on in here, is getting transferred all the way through the body. We cannot look at any sensation. We can't, because all these systems work together. And, the fascia, as you know, is an absolute passion of mine right now. So it's like the fascia, if it's tight, if it's going like a dog chew instead of like a honey shape, it can cause tension over the whole body. And there's a thing called tensegrity. Now, we know that there's these microtubules run through every cell in the body. Let me get my cell toy out. So it's like a 3D spider's web. And when our microtubules are in tensegrity, we literally are in tune. This is where tuning forks come in, because the tuning fork will put you into tune, depending on what tuning forks you use. But if your microbiome's going mental and causing extreme anxiety for you, then the tuning forks may not be enough to override this. And then if your vagus nerve is shot to hell because of the microbiome, because of things that are going on, maybe a lot of grief, a lot of people I'm seeing have lost a lot of loved ones, all of these things are having an impact on your health. And then what you're thinking, what you're believing, what you've been told by the system, that it's incurable, it's aggressive, it's autoimmune, it's chronic, there's no cure for it. It's all rubbish based on a really outdated model of physics. And, Helen had quite a few different labels: chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. In 2 weeks, these symptoms had gone by about 80%. And this is what drives me nuts, is that people are suffering right now through lack of knowledge and understanding. And at the GP, you don't do these tests. I use quantum biofeedback, which works on the frequency of your voice. Now, not everybody's going to understand that. I know that. They'll be like, what's that? It's a lot of rubbish. How can you tell from that? Think about everything in this body has a frequency. And we know what frequency every single parasite is. We know what frequency fungus is. We know what frequencies in the kidneys and the liver, etc. We know that. That's all very well documented. And all this software does is uses the body, your body, to feed back to you what's in balance. We look at deviations from normal. So this is, say, normal, average, and there's either not enough or too much. Deficiency and excess. That's how it goes, regardless of what. And what we're seeing now, and I think Dr. Sarah Mile talks about this, it used to be you could just tweak your diet and you would feel better. But now you need to look at your emotions, your trauma, your nervous system, your fascia, your lymphatic system, your diet. I mean, no wonder people are like that, going, ah! So when you look at biotherapies, all we're saying is just lie there and let the light of the sun go through every cell in the body. And as soon as you feel that bed, I can actually feel my nervous system going into ease when I go on that Verilight bed. I feel it inside, because obviously now I've been doing this work for so long, I'm very in touch with what my cells are saying. I can feel immediately when I contract and expand. And the PEMF. The PEMF is this pulsed electromagnetic frequency that goes through the body, and I know that works in the fascia. I know it's piezoelectric in nature. I know my entire fascia system. We have a full-length bed here. We also have contraptions that I put on my back and over my old scar, because that's the issue that's annoying me right now. I don't want any pain in my body. You can't even call it pain. I don't want any discomfort. I don't want to feel my body. It was only a few years ago that I actually was like, oh, my knee. I've never had any pain in my body, and I don't want it because I know it's unnecessary. But I also know that I need to take action. No, I'm not wanting a pill to put it away or an operation. I know that I can change the internal environment and change the information that's going out to my joints. I know that because I've been studying this for a long time, but lots of people don't know. So they're getting arthritis label, fibromyalgia label, chronic fatigue, Ehlers-Danlos, you name it, lupus, all of these different things. type 2 diabetes. I mean, and then people come in and say, oh, I've got all these things. And I'm like, well, no, you just need to heal your gut, heal and seal your gut. And most, I'm not saying all the symptoms will disappear, there may be more to it than that, but let's start at the very basics that every single person watching this can do, is that you can get the crap out your diet. You don't need to be a nutritionist. Let's just start at the very basics: processed sugars, processed grains, and processed foods out. Real foods, get the soup pot on, get the slow cooker out, get stews on, and then you can start to add in herbs and spices, etc., and Scotland's wild medicine further down the line. But that's what you can do today to help the microbiome, okay? And then you can add in EFT, hundreds of videos all over YouTube on EFT. Nick Ortner, I would highly recommend his stuff. Then you have breathing differently, because what happens is when we breathe deep down into the diaphragm, we pump the lymphatic system and we move, because if this whole system's stagnant and stinking, exactly like the pond in the garden in the summer, if that system is like that, then you are going to feel tired, chronic disease, and then maybe there's been a whole lot happening in your family, people sick, kids worrying about your kids, worrying about your parents, blah, 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 worrying about what's going on in the planet, worrying about all this, the news, etc. All that information coming down through here, trapped emotions, trapped heavy metals, blah, 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 the wrong foods, inability to digest. That's what's happening. And there is no mystery here, because I demystify the digestive system. It's an ecosystem like the barrier reef. It needs the right temperature primarily, and this is obviously where saunas come in. The sauna helps us to excrete the waste of the body. The body knows what to get rid of, even when we don't. Excuse me, a really annoying cough. So when we just get out the way, stop tormenting the cells by the quack, 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 and blaming, shaming, and complaining, talking about all the things we don't want, don't like. That has to stop so that we can alkalize the body and the environment. Getting peace from the mind, giving the digestive system, because what happens is the vagus nerve fires. Vagus is a Latin name for wonder, and it comes all the way up here, and it goes into all our internal organs when we're like, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. And it affects how this works. So because a lot of us are trapped in that fight or flight response, we're exhausted because we're driving our car in second gear the whole time, burning up a load of fat, burning up a load of oil, affecting the digestive system, the microbiome, etc., making a bad situation worse. Then we suffer. And then when we suffer and we're down in this state, we're contracted and we're dark, quite literally at that cellular level. And we look out and all we can see are problems through this contracted state. And that's obviously that's what I love most, is when we can let go, we can start to see the solutions. And when we're here, we'll see problems. When we're here, we'll see solutions. When there's flow, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you don't understand that your garden is out of control. You need to get the gardener in, and guess who the gardener is? You. So how you breathe, what you think, what you talk about, what you drink. I heard Helen say she was wanting Monster. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, she didn't have it, but she was very honest about her cravings, because that can happen over this sort of cleaning up process when we want to clean up the diet and stop feeding the bacteria that lives in sugar that's going, give me pizza, give me beer, give me Monster, give me Diet Coke. No, you want these guys going. And when you stick to a clean diet for a few days, and it's incredible how quickly things can change. And if you go and watch Helen's series of videos on TikTok, you'll see that, her symptoms diminished dramatically in 2 weeks, but that's not where it starts and finishes. Then you've got to keep on keeping on. So I can get you excited and motivated about how you can change, but then you need to go home and do it. And that's why I know how hard that is, because I've been doing this for 40 years. How can we stay in good shape when nobody else around us doing this? How can we get the energy to make decent food when we are exhausted? And that's why I'm a big fan of the pressure cooker and the slow cooker. Just shove all the veggies and your meat and your fish into a slow cooker, and then just put some spices in it. Make enough for 3 days. Put the rest in the fridge. Find a way. Get your great shopping delivered to your house twice a week. These are the simple things that you can do at home. But what we're creating here is communities of people that are on this wavelength, that understand community is immunity. Being able to talk to each other, share stories. What have you tried? Nicotine patches, the Peter McCulloch protocol, enzymes, the ketogenic diet, EFT. What are you doing and what's worked for you? So, because I tell you, there's so many different ways to do this, that's what's confusing. So all that I'm doing is I'm looking in, you talk into the technology translates that into English for me, and then I bespoke give you a program, but it's all the same stuff for everyone. You need to breathe into your belly. You need to let go of the fear. You need to focus on what you want. You need to talk about what you want instead of what you don't want. And fatigue is overwhelming and demoralizing and demotivating. So it takes energy to even think about it. And that's again where the biotherapies come in. So we have Health at Home, which I'll put the link in here, because I'm very aware that not everybody can come to the hub. Maybe you don't live close by, but you're lucky if you do, because it is a phenomenal place. We have these products that Jonathan has carefully researched and Tom has got on the website. So you can look at ways of getting this into your house, getting this into your community, or getting this into your business. And I bang on about the superhuman protocol because for me, that's the all singing and dancing, get well quick superhuman protocol. It helps you to heal faster at its most basic, simple form. And we see that. But don't underestimate the power of people coming in here, being around people that know that you can get better, that believe in the power of the biotherapies and the body for healing. And all that's happening then is like this. How do I get this to last all day? I charge it up. That's what happens. We are charging you at a cellular, mitochondrial level so that you have enough, the body has enough energy to do what it will always strive to do, heal. But sometimes you just don't have enough petrol. So if that phone's only got enough energy to get me to 11 o'clock today, then that's it. Charges out, I'm not going anywhere. The body's the same. If you do not have enough energy in your tank to heal stage 4 cancer or anything that's been deemed to be incurable or aggressive or anything like that, if you don't have enough energy and you don't have the support, you're not around people that believe and understand that it's a possibility in the field, I think you must be under a rock if you don't know now that people are defying the odds a rate of knots. But it takes courage to step out and say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going this way. Everything in here replicates nature. The trees, the planet, and the sun, the big doctor in the sky. And if you can't come here, I highly recommend, if you can, that you do. You're looking at an investment over 3 months of about £1,500, depending on what you do, £1,500 for your health to get you back up that ladder, energized. And then, of course, what are you eating? What are you doing to support it at home? But we are doing everything in our power here, creating communities, free monthly meetups that you can come and you can hang out and you can meet other people that are walking the road less travelled, stepping forward, respecting their body, listening to it and understanding the intelligence that made this hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here, right here inside you, but you need to shut up and you need to move away from the noise and come inside and listen. Breathe. Change your own heart rate, change your own brain frequencies, let go of the past, focus on what you want. Healing, it's up to you. Nobody else can do this for you. But what we're doing here is, along with providing the state-of-the-art biotherapies, is we're creating communities and a place for you to come, to be held and supported through your journey. So if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, we do free discovery calls. Join the Heal Together calendar events app, because we're going to have a place where you can be entertained and educated. And check out the Health at Home. You can subscribe there for free. Look at all the products that we've got. It's infancy. So there's lots of things coming to you to help you and assist you, so that if you can't even leave your house right now, if you're in your bed a lot, which is the story I'm hearing, you can get a phenomenal far infrared red light sleeping bag into your bed, where you can just use that to help charge yourself up. PEMF at Home as well. There's a cost to these things, but I had a guy in yesterday that said that his community had raised money for him, but he didn't really know where to spend it or what to do. And that's a very personal thing, depending on what it is that you want to achieve. Are you well enough to go abroad, to go to a retreat? I mean, I would love to have a residential space here that people can come and stay, because I understand I want to feed people the great food and help them to experience that lift and energy. And I know that you can get that here and very quickly, but then it comes to the maintenance of it. And I believe that comes from our communities. We need to get this into every community. Every community that's open-minded and willing to raise the money and to get this going, so that you can be charged at a cellular level. Anyway, enough from me. I've got a busy day ahead. And we've got this weekend, we have Primitive Winds, a French couple coming here 4 o'clock on Saturday. They're doing a ceremony with stories and fables and myths. They've travelled all around the world. They're doing all the Celtic sacred sites. So you can come. They work with I think it's the Manti mushroom. So please come and join us for that. And if you don't, join the sound bath in the evening. I think it starts at 4 and then the next one's at 7. So that's at the sound bath with all their native sounds. And yeah, I mean, sound is such a powerful healing modality now. So there's 2, you can either do the whole thing or you can just come and do the sound bath. So you can get the tickets on the Heal Together site. Let me just find it. And I will put the link right in here for you. And then, of course, on Sunday, we're having our family fete. So 11 o'clock, and it's free. So if you're kicking about on Sunday and you'd like to come, we've got speakers. We have games, different phenomenal things going on for kids. And yeah, this will be some bubbles and some fun stuff. Come along, join us. I'll put the ticket, that's the link for Primitive Winds if you want to come on the Saturday, and then the fete on Sunday. Please register, simply so that we have numbers for catering. So I hope to see you Saturday or Sunday, and subscribe to our calendar and you can keep abreast of all the incredible things that are coming up. We're going to have monthly meetups. We've got Body Connect coming down to talk about the lymph and the fascia. Phenomenal teacher and healer. So yeah, we're on it. And let us know what you would like to see going on up here, entertainment-wise and education-wise. And we're looking at ways to subsidise packages for people that have financial issues. Yeah, we're all over it, but we need your ideas as well. So please feed back and tell me what you need to see, and have a wonderful day. Ciao.